another episode of L Squared, better known as Lips and Liquor, where we talk about all things alcohol, the fermented, the distilled, and everything in between. So go ahead and smack those lips into the weekend. Okay, so today's spirit we will be getting into today is a bourbon, and we have not had that yet, so I'm excited. Before I tell you what bourbon we will be sipping on today, let me give you our Lips and Liquor fun fact. Fun fact. On May 4th, 1964, the United States Congress recognized bourbon whiskey as a distinctive product of the United States. With that being said, the federal standards of identity for distilled spirits state that bourbon must meet a couple of requirements. Let's dig a little deeper. Okay, so bourbon must be made of a grain mixture that is at least 51% corn. Bourbon must be distilled to no more than 160 proof. Bourbon must be aged in a new Bourbon must be aged in a new charred oak barrel. Okay, that kind of give it a little flavor a little bit. Bourbon may not be introduced to the barrel at higher than 125 proof. Child, I'm gonna have a headache after this. Let's keep going. There's more. Bourbon, which meets the above requirements, has been aged for a minimum of 2 years and may, but is not required to, be called straight bourbon. Bourbon aged for a period less than 4 years must be labeled with the duration of its aging. If an age is stated on the label, it must be the age of the youngest whiskey in the bottle, and only whiskey produced in the United States can be called bourbon. That's a lot of requirements. Which means when I get into this S squared and T squared, I have high expectations. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but these taste buds is ready after reading all those requirements. Okay? So without further ado, the bourbon we'll be reviewing today is our Bulleit bourbon. So let's go ahead and read up on it. All right, so Bulleit bourbon is a frontier whiskey. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. 45% alcohol by volume, which makes it 90 proof. Ooh, okay. So according to our requirements, this has been aged at least a minimum of 2 years because it does say straight bourbon on the bottle, and it's 90 proof, which means they added a little water to it to lessen the proof. Look at me learning something. Let's keep reading. Okay. All right. So this is a little note from Tom Bulleit. It says, my family has been making bourbon for generations using Kentucky limestone filtered water and a blend of the finest corn, barley, and rye. My great-great-grandfather knew a good thing when he tasted it, and I expect you and I do too. Best personal regards, Tom Bulleit. Ooh, that was so sweet. I'm ready to drink. All right, so we are about to go into our S squared and T squared. And if you don't know what that is, let me tell you. S squared is our sight and smell. T squared is our taste and texture. Wow. I would say maybe a little olive undertone. Like, it's definitely brown with an olive undertone. This is actually very pretty. Okay, Bulleit bourbon. All right, let's get into the smell. Not bad. It's not making me want to pass out, so let's get into our T squared taste. Okay, she has a lot of flavor. She has flavor. Oh man, I feel like this would be great paired with like some dinner or something. Ah, and let me tell you though, it's crazy because ooh, it has like a refreshing to it, but the flavor, it kind of like sits on your palate. Wow. Burn, not bad. It's just a little burn right here, but nothing out of the ordinary. Woo, let's get into this texture. Texture, I will say it is on the thicker side, but it's not bad. All right. Okay, so this was actually my first time tasting bourbon, and I must say the flavor is A1 on this. You know, right now I feel like on the Lips&Liqua scale of 1 through 10, I'm definitely gonna have to give her an 8, only because let's see how she mixes. If she mixes well, then that number may go up. Okay? And you hear that? It's time for the L squared hour. And welcome to the L squared hour. Today we got something that's gonna keep you nice and toasty during these winter months. Hot butter bourbon. That's right, I said it. Today we are making a hot butter bourbon. It's about to be good. All right, y'all, let's get into this hot butter bourbon. First, you want to start off with at least 2 tablespoons of butter softened. Make sure it's no salt added to the butter. Then we want to go in with 2 tablespoons brown sugar. And after we get our brown sugar in there, we want to do 1.5 teaspoons of pure maple syrup. I'm gonna do half of this. All right. After that, we're gonna do about 1/4 cinnamon. Ooh, I think that was a little bit too much. And then we're gonna do a pinch of nutmeg, a pinch of allspice, and a pinch of salt. After we go ahead and combine all of these ingredients together, we'll be back to assemble. All right, y'all, so if you actually have a hand mixer at home, it's best to mix it with the hand mixer just to kind of give it more of a frosting consistency like so. So we're going to go ahead and put our little concoction to the side. And I have about 1.5 cups of boiling water, so we're going to add that first. Then after our water, we're going to add about 2.5 shots of our bourbon. And then I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of our little frosting concoction. And then we're just going to stir this in until it's fully melted. After we go ahead and stir this in until it's fully melted, then you want to add a little whipped cream for serving. Okay, y'all, so everything is stirred up and melted. So we're going to go ahead and give it a taste. It smells really good. Wow. Y'all, it really tastes like a melted cookie. Don't take my word for it. Go ahead and try it out yourself and make sure you tag me in it, okay? And make sure you use the hashtag L squared hot butter bourbon. From my lips to your cups, put those L's in the air and give it a big kiss. Mwah, L squared out, baby.